Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I'm hoping that everyone is staying warm and enjoying their turkey dinners. I wanted to get this video up since I just recently played a brand new Legend of Zelda game, Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. Wanted to give a brief history about this particular series of games that it meant to me. Ever since the Nintendo 64's Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, I was enthralled and fallen deeply in love with the Legend of Zelda franchise, and had not realized that it was actually bigger than it was anticipated. I usually thought it was just another adventure that Link is going on, and another quest to defeat Ganondorf and all that kind of stuff. But it's not just that. I'd actually a while ago found out about the timeline that it actually follows upon, which it follows 3 different timelines, and that was very spectacular to me. I never really imagined that such a game, such as a green-dressed warrior on a quest to find the Triforce, was had anything deep involving with it, and I was very shocked by it. So after this dedication to loving Legend of Zelda, I was absolutely happy to be a part of this. And A Link Between Worlds actually does have a little bit more involvement in a different chapter written. There's some things in it that do keep me questioning on where it takes place, but I want to get to that a little bit later. I do want to talk about the gameplay of it. One thing I need to stress is that this game is very, very entertaining, as well as very challenging. I'd actually found myself, I finished this game in about 2 to 3 days. Had very lengthed amount of dungeons, and a large world to explore. Actually, 2 worlds to be exact. But the reason that this game became really challenging was that I wasn't really aware of the item system that it had, mainly because the items that you get in the actual game you have to buy from the strange purple dressed rabbit dude who asks you for refuge in your house, which was kind of strange. I thought it was alright, but I didn't really realize that in the other dungeons there were other items to be found to improve upon your status, such as there's 2 different dungeons that have what's called Master Ore, which increases the amount of strength and damage that your Master Sword does. Same thing goes for one particular dungeon that has the tunic male armor that increases the defenses of yourself against other monsters. I could have used that like sooner in the game. I've actually found myself facing against the main villain in just at a better time, because every time I took a hit from that fucker, it would take off like 4 to 5 or 6 hearts in like a one hit. I couldn't believe how difficult this battle was until too late. But aside from that, the game does present a great challenge. It has a lot of mini games and side quests that you can go on to keep yourself busy, and I actually like that. As far as the plot, it is very engaging, and that's kind of stressing for a Legend of Zelda. This one in particular, especially with games like Majora's Mask, that didn't have that had a very deep plot to it, as well as Wind Waker, Twilight Princess. This one, it has more of not too stressed plot, but one that really resonates. And man, I really don't want to spoil it for you. But anyways, insert spoilers right here. This game, it's very, very misleading on what on who the villain is. The world of Hyrule has a shadow known as Lorule, and that is led by a princess known as Hilda. Princess Hilda, which I kind of figured, oh, this is the reverse version of the Princess Zelda. And there is the other villain known as Yuja, which he looks like the transvestite version of Ganondorf, which is really bizarre, but I'll allow it. I thought it was pretty funny just to see this guy in action, and he's nothing like Ganon. He's actually more of the type that tries to find beauty in the world and imprison it in portraits. But later on, much later on in the game, right around the time that you get into the world, into Lorule, and start going to the different areas to rescue the 7 sages that were imprisoned by Yuja, you start to get the feeling, there's something odd with Hilda. I mean, what's going on? She starts stressing about, and starts talking to the Princess Zelda portraits, and saying, "Oh, you're so lucky to have a hero. Why did our world go into ruin? And don't worry, Link will save all of us." It's like, okay, what's going on here? And it wasn't until that the next dungeon that I figured, I guess Hilda's behind all of this somehow. And I was right. And even though that I did call on it, it was still amazing that they pulled this one off. I never really expected them to go this angle, but that was a great move. Especially with the biggest plot twist of it. I will not spoil this one, but in the very end, all of you would be surprised in this particular game. This game really was very engaging and very frustrating, especially with my lack of equipment to effectively kill most of the monsters. One of the repeat bosses, both in the game and both in this game and in the Zelda universe, was the gigantic worm that bounces off the walls and its weak spot is at the base of its tail. Man, it was a friggin' agitating creature to have to deal with. That and what was that other one? Oh shoot, I think it was the turtle, the boss in Turtle Rock, or the oh no, it was the boss in Ruin Ice, and that thing looks creepy. It's a gigantic black blob of tentacles that freezes itself in a case of ice and has ice orbs floating around, and if you're not careful, it'll form a triangular area attack that freezes you. And that scared the crap out of me, especially when oftentimes the bosses start to get harder. With this one, when you hit it enough times, it gets 6 orbs and starts forming 2 triangles, one big one, one little one, to throw you off. It's like, oh my god. A lot of the bosses actually do feel very engaging, and you really have to figure out a proper strategy to beat them. One of the troubling ones that I've had was the Skull Woods boss, which was pretty much a wall master on steroids. Pretty much a gigantic gauntlet hand with an eyeball on the base of on the palm of its hand, and it would form a fist and punch the wall. If it missed you and hit the wall, it would just flop on its side, and you have to hit its eyeball. That was pretty easy. But when it get really difficult was when it goes into berserk mode and then starts smacking the floor numerous times with you in it. It's almost unavoidable as long until you actually get onto the wall and to avoid his attacks. It took me a little bit to kind of put that together, especially when the floors start like falling apart. It was really agitating. I had to go through that one a couple of times to get the rhythm right. But by far the hardest one was Yuja's transformation, the final boss, which is Yuja, that has absorbed the Triforce of Power and Ganon. My God, that thing is a monstrosity, and he pretty much attacks you with spear combos. And the biggest thing about this one is that it really starts using combos on your ass. Not kidding. And then after that, the final formation of this boss, pardon me, after he betrays Hilda and absorbs her, starts using the tennis orb tactic, where you have to hit the orb back at him. After that, he retreats into the wall portrait, and then you have to hit him with the light arrow afterwards. Was really frustrating to get through that one, and the ending is very satisfying. It's very sweet and very memorable. As far as the placement for this particular tale, it still throws me off. I thought this one took place in the Fallen Hero timeline, where it follows the very first Legend of Zelda games, like Link's Awakening and the first Legend of Zelda one, in those categories. But that's severely that is almost dismissed after discovering Majora's Mask in your house. I had to take a double take on that. I mean, it's, if you look in the right hand corner, right hand lower corner of your home, you will see Majora's Mask hung on the wall, and see it in plain sight if you merge onto the wall as a portrait. I'm not kidding. That threw me off for a loop. And it's like, what? Really? How is this possible? I mean, but I'm still wondering if this does take place in the young Link timeline where Majora's Mask happened, or in the Fallen Hero. So I'm really interested in hearing your comments about this particular game. If you have any great ideas on what time placement this takes place, please leave a comment down below, and I will definitely take them in consideration. And with that, have a great and happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays to all of you. I hope you all are enjoying your time with your families, and keep playing. See you guys next time.